In today's episode, we will take a look at Nico Leonard's watch collection. Nico is the biggest watch YouTuber with well over 1 million subs and having his whole business set around luxury watches. He is a watch expert as well. He is a man who truly appreciates the importance of owning a luxury watch and giving a sentimental value to them, especially Hublot.
A Hublot Classic Fusion, banger of a watch, one of my absolute favorite class.
But more of that later. Starting off with his AP Royal Oak with Panda dial. This is 2019 model, and it is a watch that he wore the most in 2022. Current value of this timepiece sits around $55,000. The watch he got for surpassing 1 million subscribers is AP Royal Oak Offshore Music Edition. Because of its rarity, current value ranges from $70,000 up to $80,000. Next up, we have Rolex GMT Master 2 Pepsi on a Jubilee bracelet. He is one of very few people who actually uses GMT function, and it's his personal daily beater watch. Current value of this exact timepiece is around $23,000. Evero's gold Rolex Sky Dweller on a Oysterflex bracelet is also a part of his collection. This is the most complicated watch that Rolex ever produced, and it is currently worth around $45,000. Next up, we have very unique and very rare timepiece from Rolex. We are talking about 1992 Mark I Rolex Sea Dweller Comex Edition. There are only 100 ever produced in 1992 for actual divers, with actual numbers engraved on the back. Because this is the only one that we've seen in last 7 years, it is almost impossible to value this watch properly, so we can't discuss about its worth. And that's exactly the pinnacle of being a watch enthusiast. Having a watch that money can't buy, which is this exact timepiece that Nico owns. Vintage Rolex Daytona 6265, nicknamed Big Red, is also part of his collection. Like every other watch that Nico owns, this watch represents something special to him. This model dates back to 1987, which was also Nico's birth year. Since he was obsessed with Rolex, he needed to have the watch that associates with his birth year, and this exact watch seemed like perfect match for that. Current value of this vintage timepiece sits around $185,000. Another Daytona from his collection is 14 karat 6263. Only 1% of this Daytona model was made in 14 karat at the time, which makes this watch insanely rare. Having in mind that this watch is produced in 1978, we can't imagine how many of these are left, especially in this condition. Current value of this timepiece is around $590,000. Next up, we have a really special and ultra-rare watch from Nico. We are talking about full platinum piece unique, based on a 25th anniversary of Royal Oak. There are only 25 piece uniques ever produced, and this is the only one platinum in this exact spec, which makes this timepiece only one in the world, and based on his words, it will never go for sale, so we can't give an estimated value for it. A watch he got for his 16th birthday is vintage Seiko quartz, which he kept since then. This was a birthday present from his parents, and that is the watch that got him into a watch world. Most valuable timepiece Nico owns is his grandfather's watch. Again, we are talking about vintage Seiko SQ quartz watch, not most expensive, but it is a watch that it's most valuable for him. For his 30th birthday, he got Rolex Oyster Perpetual with white dial. The watch was birthday present from his parents on their last holiday, and its current value sits little bit over $10,000. His choice for a classy watch is 18 karat yellow gold Patek Phillipe World Time. This complicated timepiece has 24-hour and day-night indication for the 24 different time zones. It is a really perfect dress watch, and its current value sits around $135,000. Believe it or not, Nico is owner of Grand Seiko. To be specific, we are talking about Grand Seiko Summer Dial, and its current value sits around $6,500. Next up, we have Hamilton Khaki Field Titanium, Far Cry Edition. Hamilton collaborated with a video game, and this watch is product of it. Current value of this timepiece is $1,000. Another Rolex he owns is 18-karat yellow gold Daytona with green dial. This is by far one of the best looking green dials, and it is currently worth around $95,000. Based on what we saw from his collection, we can see that he appreciates Daytonas, and it is no surprise that he owns more of them. We are talking about 116500LN, white dial ceramic Daytona, that was first introduced in 2016. It was spotted at Nico's Instagram few times, and it is currently worth around $35,000. We can say that he has one of the best Daytona collections we ever saw, and he owns even more of them, but more of that later. Coming back to Patek Philippe, one more model from this brand that he owns is Patek Philippe Nautilus Annual Calendar. This one is very symmetrical timepiece from Patek, and its current value is around $120,000. During the 50th anniversary of Daytona, Rolex brought out anniversary model. It was 116506, full platinum Rolex Daytona, that Nico was spotted wearing few times on his channel. Next up we have Richard Mille RM11FM. This is a Philippe Massa edition chronograph, made of titanium, and Nico paired it with a yellow strap recently. Current value of this timepiece sits around $220,000. Very unique model from Patek Philippe is also part of his collection. The Patek Philippe weekly calendar is a watch who shows the day, the date, the week of the year, and the month, and it's currently worth around $45,000. Nico also owns extremely rare, off-catalog white gold Rolex Submariner Sapphire with blue dial. The watch has ceramic bezel set with 27 dark blue baguette cut sapphires and 11 baguette cut diamonds. The case and crown are set with 92 brilliant cut diamonds, giving a total of 3.9 carats of sapphire and 1.72 diamond carats, and it is worth around $170,000. 9 months ago, he rewarded his employee Steve with IWC green Portagesser chronograph, and Nico got matching watch for himself as well. Current value of this watch sits around $8,000. It seems like he has special place in his heart for Rolex, because the list of his Rolex watches never ends. A full 18-karat yellow gold day date with white dial is also a part of his collection, and it's currently worth around $40,000. Nico owns another presidential Rolex day date with stone dial, and it is one of our favorite day date dials. Current value of this watch is $60,000. Even though Nico is one of the biggest Hublot lovers, he sells all kinds of watches on his Pride and Pinion website. Did you know that Queen Elizabeth owned $50 million Patek Philippe? Watch our video to see her full watch collection.